Mommy, can you come sit in this peanut gallery? Can you come sit in the peanut gallery? But only if you promise that you won't audibly scream, cackling, laughing at everything I say. I will or I won't? No, you can't make sound. No, we have to pretend.
They'll
okay,
know.
I love you, thank you. Okay. Just you can't audibly gasp at everything, okay? That's my one beg. I love you. That's my biggest fear, having my mom in the room. Just she's the best! You know what I mean? Yeah. I literally say nothing, and she's like, oh my God, number one.
God,
God, she's fucking brilliant. Yeah. I'm like, Mom, please.
But is she wrong?
At least, I like the, thank you, that was a great note. Peanut gallery out of the eyeliner.
Yes.
That helps.
You look amazing.
You look amazing.
No, you're glowing, dude.
You are glowing.
Oh, you look happy.
Thanks.
Very happy.
Thanks.
It's good shit. The only thing happy about me is I got dick glow going on.
Dick what?
Dick glow?
Dick glow.
Yeah, glow.
Got it, cool. I thought you said dickalo. And I was like, I don't know what that is.
It's a new instrument.
Sure. Zach has dickalo.
I do. No, good dick glow is a thing. I didn't know until a security guard at work told me about it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I really am happy for you.
Thank you.
Guys.
Are we ready?
As we begin this interview, can we start with a round of applause for Zach Sang's virginity? Oh, my ring!
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I would like to thank my mom. Would like to thank the person who decided to take it. Would like to thank, you for the cake.
You're welcome.
Oh, it feels good. We ready to go? Wow, this is crazy. This is like familiar, but also so different. We're in a warehouse.
I know, we are in a warehouse. I feel like we do have to start by addressing the incredibly different surroundings that we're in right now, because we really wanted to make this happen. We've been trying really hard to make this happen. And I was like, okay, great, I can do it on Zoom. And Zach was like, no, I'm getting on a plane. So and thank you for doing this.
Well, there's a lot to discuss. By the way, hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach, and that's Ariana Grande.
Yay. Sorry.
Where do we begin?
Well, we began with the warehouse. We're in a warehouse because I'm only here for a couple of days, even though I wrapped. Absolutely, it's New York. May I?
Ambiance.
Well, because I wrapped a couple of days ago, but I have to go back to London to finish some promo and some marketing stuff. So I'm only here for a couple of days. So Zach flew to New York to do this. We tried to find a location that was similar to the Yes and video. And
we did it.
It's beautiful. It lacks a lot of graffiti, but it's beautiful. It's perfect.
Why are you making music now?
I don't know. I did not plan to. I didn't have the goal to make an album. I actually was really opposed to coming out with music until after Wicked, either both parts or just the one part. I wasn't sure how it would feel. But as soon as the strike began, I came to New York, and just for fun, just to see how it would feel, Max Martin came to New York to spend a week with me at Jungle City Studios here, and it all just kind of started pouring out. And after our first week together, I kept coming to the studio every day by myself, and it just kind of kept organically happening that way. So I just decided to react and listen to that, and I thought maybe it should come out. If it's coming out of me this way, maybe it should be shared this way. I love it. It's in the heights. I am Usnavi.
By the way, an album that we listened to when that movie came out on repeat,
every single day.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
We'd go on long drives, and that would be the only thing playing.
100%. You poor thing. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
But there's a reason why so much came out so easily, right?
Yeah, I think it had just really been a long time. Honestly, it had just been such a long time. The last time we spoke was 4 years ago. Positions was 2020. The last time we spoke, it was on Zoom because we were in the pandemic. There was a gourd. It had been a long time, and I think my relationship to music changed and healed a lot through taking space from it. I think I learned so much from Glinda, and through Glinda, I kind of healed a lot of parts of myself alongside and through her. And it actually helped me heal a lot of my own personal weird stuff that I had with my relationship to music and to being an artist and to that like persona. And I was able to kind of come home and address it and sit with it and change the things that weren't working and fall in love with it again. And it all kind of, it all happened absolutely how it was meant to be.
So what is different about your relationship with music today than 4 years ago?
So much. I mean, so much. I think I am a more boundaried person now, if that makes sense. I think also taking space from it was really, really healthy for me because I am a person who started on Broadway. And I've always been a musical theater person. I've always been an actress. I missed acting. I really spent a lot of time on tour and cranking out these albums and following the incredible response to my pop music. It was the most incredible blessing ever, but it kind of took over in a way that human Ari wasn't sure she planned for. Yeah. And I think having so much time with a character instead of this caricaturized version of myself, but it was really nice. Like I really loved being able to put my craft, I suppose, to the test in different ways. I think the space was really healthy. And again, playing a character that I learned so much from. I just think
life.
In life. But also it just made this so much richer. Like it made coming home to music feel so much better. And I think that balance is something that I'm really gonna wanna maintain moving forward. I think it's just nice. Like little Ari was so fed and fulfilled and thankful for this experience. It was really nice.
You reference baby Ari on the album.
Do I?
Yeah, she gets a shout.
Who? What do I say?
You refer to yourself as baby girl, and you talk about.
Yes, true. Yes.
Just you and your own thoughts?
Gosh, you're spilling tea about lyrics. Zach, sing.
But does human Ari and pop star Ari get closer together through this process?
Yeah, they do. That's the most beautiful thing that has been kind of happening in life recently is that I think for so long, 90% of the time I was pop star Ari, and I had a hard time separating or acknowledging how much more important human Ari is and how much better I can be as pop star Ari once I nurture human Ari. And it's nice because now I feel like 99% of the time I am human Ari. And even when I'm writing and I'm performing and I'm singing, I am still human Ari. And that's like very interesting. So this kind of like, I don't know. It's been nice. It's like such a corny, I suppose, not corny. That doesn't exist. But, interesting thing. I'm 30. My Saturn has returned. I'm like feeling it. So like present every day. And it's just interesting.
I was literally thinking that there's something over the last couple of years where experiences and opportunities and a bunch of things happen. And to a certain degree, happen for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Like even grabbing Wicked and becoming Linda.
My God.
So much growth comes from her.
From her, from time spent with her,
But the universe essentially sets you up for that, right? Like I personally, throughout our entire relationship, I never saw something that you were more passionate about,
True.
Focused on.
Truly.
I mean, like emotionally, physically, mentally invested. It was like you were training for the Super Bowl. Like I remember you'd show up early to the auditions and you'd circle the block.
Yeah.
Like I mean, the universe put that all together for a reason that leads you into this ginormous growth that is connected to Saturn returning.
Maybe, truly. Yeah. I mean, why question it? But I think, it's definitely something that I have never wanted something as badly as I did this. And I tried to use that to take lessons every single day while I was doing The Voice and get ready for these auditions. I trained every day with Nancy and with Eric to transform my voice, even like my singing voice, everything about me. I had to kind of deconstruct to prove to them that I could handle taking on this other person. I kind of had to completely erase pop star Ari, the person that they know so well, because like it's even harder to believe someone as someone else when you're so branded as one thing. So I kind of had to really go all the way to strip that down and come into my callback with no makeup, my hair down, like I looked 11 years old. It was like, but I really, really worked hard for it. And my God, I'm so grateful for it because it is the best, most transformative and special experience of my life. And the funniest thing is like the reason why I thought I loved Glinda since I was 10 years old is so not what makes us so adjacent to one another. Like it's so the high notes and the comedy and the pink and the laughs and being, the clown is like what I was attracted to when I was 10, but it's so interesting that there's a lot more to it underneath the surface.
What do you learn about her that you didn't pick up from seeing Wicked? I don't know, you've probably seen it at least a dozen times now.
Yeah, of course. And I've always loved her so much, as we know, but I love her so much more after spending so much time with her. She's so strong. She's so, so strong. Her arc is so rich and so beautiful. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. It was a beautiful 2.5 years, really, between the prep and everything, yeah.
The deconstruction of oneself to take on a character. In that process, like you have to learn things about you and your awareness has to be different, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting because it's like spending so much time in a character's body and as someone else, you get used to certain things. Like your brain kind of gets used to certain behaviors. Like something that Glinda has is like this very sure sense of self. And she's not very apologetic. She's very good. She's very kind, but she's like very certain. She takes up a lot of space unapologetically. And I think I, maybe before knowing Glinda and spending a lot of time with her, would cram myself into tiny little spaces and be kind of apologetic about what I come with and who I am and my anything. I would sort of be like hope you're all right. Bless you? ? I don't know. It's just interesting. My brain got used to certain pieces of her, and then the other things I would really force you to look in the mirror. I think that's what I like so much about acting and what I missed so much because, it's fun to be forced to look in the mirror in certain ways.
Well, but the deconstruction of oneself allows you to look at yourself from a different angle, right? And it's, I know, there's the most going on.
It's the possible place to be. I'm dying.
There's a Boeing 747 above us. Hold for plane.
Holding.
Oh, that's so triggering. I don't know why. Every time I was on a Nickelodeon set and they yelled that, I started to sweat even more.
I'm taking my shoes off.
Oh my God, letting the dogs out, eh?
Yeah.
Cheeky?
Is that okay?
Yeah, you can let the dogs out, whatever you want to do.
Ew, I hate let the dogs out. I don't like that.
But really, deconstructing oneself allows you to look at yourself from a different angle, right? And you get to acknowledge patterns that exist, which patterns are attached to your Saturn returning, right?
Yeah.
Being aware of patterns that you possess, breaking them.
Ripping everything open and kind of redesigning everything from the ground up. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Like Saturn return is wild. It really is so real.
But if you don't know, it's like every 29 and a half years. Like the Saturn is somewhere whenever you're born, like in a position. And it takes 29 and a half years for
it
Saturn
to come back to where it was originally.
Yes.
And when it does, things just fall into place. Well, you're forced to kind of clean house. It just all becomes very loud and you can't kind of stomach anything that's inauthentic anymore. And you just have to say gracefully and respectfully, we need to make some changes. You know what I mean?
100%. And I think becoming Glinda leads into this
totally
massive, massive moment that really shapes the rest of a human being's life.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's really interesting.
I love her. But it was beautiful. Yeah, it was so beautiful for so many ways. And Cynthia, like, I can't, sorry, you were going to ask a question, but I
no, please.
Oh my God.
Wicked changed my life, right? So many themes of that show, the book, really changed the way I could look at a situation. For that message to be able to reach as many human beings as humanly possible has the potential to do a lot of good. Like the ripple effect of that is immeasurable.
Yeah.
And Broadway isn't accessible to everybody. Touring shows aren't accessible to everybody, but movies that live forever are.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
It's insane, yeah.
Like I think of what that show did for me and even what it did for you in life.
Yeah.
And to give that to somebody else in any capacity has, oh my God, like you can't even, like you don't even know what good it can do until it's out in the world, you know?
It's
wild.
exciting. Yeah.
You talk about nerves being attached to caring. It is true, right? You're nervous about things you care about. Is there a new sense of nerves around the music you're releasing today?
Oh, absolutely. I think I'm the most nervous person on the earth. I am, just because I always care so much and I wear my heart outside of my body. And I love what I do so much, but I think also I am better at being a human than being an artist. I don't have that like robotic, tough cookie exterior that just can like do it, and you know what I mean? I am a Cancer and I am a person who is very sensitive, but you know, I love it. And I also think that if I'm not doing something that makes me nervous or scared or feel that anticipatory excitement in a positive way, you know, feeling those nerves in a positive way, then maybe it's not elevating my art. Maybe it's not there yet. Maybe it's not good enough. So I think it's a healthy feeling.
So
Nerves, I think they are.
this album, as we're hanging out today, it's unreleased. Do you feel like nerves will go away around this music at a certain point? Or is it something
I
that
will go away at a certain point.
Stop that.
I'm going to be in a hotel somewhere. No, I'm kidding.
Are you going to tour this album?
I'm kidding. What?
Are you going to tour this album?
TBD.
A lot of people talking
would
about
really-
a 2-album tour, which you hinted to at one point.
On your show, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
I think I was buying myself time, and
You
I
did
didn't want
well.
to do that. I was like, I was like, yeah, and then the album will never happen, and then the tour will never. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think I would love to do shows. I love being on stage. I miss being on stage. I miss my fans so much. That's the honest to God truth. I had a really hard time emotionally on my last tour, but I think that's because of where I was at.
Totally.
So just like with music, I think I'm really excited to redefine my relationship to shows when I'm ready and to see what that looks like. I do have a very busy year with this and with Wicked. And then the next year I also have Wicked Part 2. So I'm interested to see what that would look like. It would obviously be shorter. If it were anything, it would be like a littler something, but I definitely do have the itch. I miss my fans. I miss being on stage. But then again, I also am not ready to announce any sort of thing or get people too excited because I don't want to disappoint.
You talked about elevating your art being connected to nerves, but like, what does it mean to elevate your art in this sense? What are we getting from Eternal Sunshine that we haven't gotten before?
Well, I think it's very different in a lot of ways. I don't like to do the same exact thing twice, but I think it's also different pieces of me. Like it's very me, but just kind of my favorite rendition of it. Does that make sense? I don't know.
It is you.
I really am not sure how to specify what's most different about it, but
It's just as honest as the music you put out before. I can even make the case that it's it's incredibly honest. Like when you really listen to it, you hear a story.
it's human. Yeah, I wanted
That's
to.
it.
Yeah, I mean it's incredibly human, but it's also touching on Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So it's kind of a concept album, which I also haven't done before, and that's also kind of why I don't want to put out a second single before the album, because I would like for it to be heard in one piece.
It's a story of transition and growth. It's a story of love and growth and also loss and addressing. I mean, you address the most. I mean, you talk about the most. But it's all cloaked in this.
I do, but also it says everything and nothing at the same time.
100%.
It's very vague and very specific, but all at once.
But these songs are pouring out of you because there's so much emotion and so many experiences fueling it.
It was definitely the most emotional writing process, for sure.
Does it come naturally, or do these lyrics need to be refined over and over again? Like, what is the writing process?
So I definitely did several passes at all of the songs just to kind of be protective, because I wrote them when I was very emotional, some of them, and then some of them were more, there are bops that are more fun, but actually even some of the bops I cried writing. but I think like the thing that was beautiful about it was when I was writing, it was with no intention for the world to hear it. I was just kind of like, let's just go. Let's see what comes out. And then when I was done, I remembered that people will hear it and how sometimes people can sensationalize things and assign meaning to certain things. And I wanted to make sure that I combed through just to make sure that it was what I intended, which even at my most heartbroken or most pained moments of the past few years, there was so much kindness. There was so much love. There was so much honesty and transparency and respect. So even at the hardest moments of, the loss and the grief that you hear on some of the albums, some of the heartbreak stuff, like there was so much like love and transparency. So that was something I really wanted to make sure was captured. It wasn't like a fuck you at all and ever. Even like track number 2, I tried to make sure it was kind and giving credit for trying and for the goodness that there was. So that was like a tricky balance for me, because I definitely had some sessions where I was writing more emotionally and reactively, but that's also very human. So I didn't want to erase all of it.
What is it like working with Max Martin again?
It's the best. I love him so much. We have become so close over the past few years as friends. And I know we've been working together for 12 years, but I don't know, he's just been such an incredible friend these past few years. We were, before I left for Wicked, the few studio sessions that I did, which are all over TikTok. Thank you so much. I'll see you in jail, literally. But
they're all real leaks.
No, yeah, they were. But the thing is that those were all written for a TV show, for
I remember this.
Something that was not for me. So Fantasize comes out, crazy, was stolen, comes out, thieves, pirates, crooks, illegal. What?
How are they stealing
I'll pay you more to put it away, like to get it back.
Why don't you want it out there? Because people think it's yours. They don't know the context.
Well, that wasn't my song. That wasn't for me. It was like a parody of like a 90s girl group vibe, but they loved it. They loved it so much. And I was like, all of you are absolutely hypocrites. And B, that's crazy. It's so corny, but it's okay. I took the note and I kind of gave them Ariana's version of that on the album. I would say that exists.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
which was so some of those seedling ideas from that time actually made their way onto the album, which is really exciting. But they're completely different now. So although you've heard them because you stole them again, they're very different now. So that's exciting too.
Have you heard yourself as AI singing songs that aren't yours?
Yes. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, you tell me.
What? Why? I hate it.
One of the cases that somebody made on our show the other day was like, I can use AI when I'm creating a song for an artist that I think should be for.
Terrifying.
So they'll shop a song as that artist, essentially.
It's terrifying. I'm putting my shoes back.
Dog's back in the cage, eh?
Ew, stop saying that.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
No, seriously, though, the AI thing is pretty wild.
It's terrifying.
there is the most going on, but parallel to all this, you're still running a beauty brand
Yes.
that is thriving.
Yay. Thank you.
I mean, to watch this thing from the beginning that you worked on for so many years.
Yeah.
Can you just explain the tender love and care that goes into just a single product? Because
Oh my gosh. I mean, the thing about beauty that I kind of knew from fragrance beforehand is just it takes so long for one product to become perfect and to become realized and to have it out on the shelves. It's like 2 years, foundation more, like to longer. I love it. Leave the whole thing in. No, it's just amazing. I mean, I love our team so much.
it's a symphony. There's no way that's helping anybody.
It's great.
No.
I love it. It's perfect.
What is the most fulfilling part about it?
I think the most fulfilling part about it is using all of my own products.
It's
Like
cool.
literally, I use except Glinda used a couple things that weren't mine because it's Glinda.
Yeah.
And I didn't walk in there being like, we have to use only my things. I wanted her to have her own face. But I love using my own things and I love making people feel beautiful. Like some of my dancers in the Yes and video were like, by the way, I love your makeup. And it was so fulfilling.
And people are obsessed with it.
Yeah.
People
it
tell
makes
me
happy.
about it. And I'm like,
Really?
yeah. I'm like,
That's so sweet.
love it.
That makes me so happy.
But that is to weave yourself into somebody's life in that way is very special and very cool. But to craft a product and a brand that's really bigger than you to a certain degree, right?
It's intimate. I mean, it's another version of storytelling that we don't think of as storytelling because how we look and present ourselves and the aesthetic that we like and our style is just such a personal thing. So it's intimate. It's nice. It's another way of spending time with my fans in a weird way.
Why is red the color of this era?
I think it looks like the music to me. And also, I did also like the tie-in of Clementine's hair from Eternal Sunshine. She has red hair for some and blue hair for some, but I thought that red from her hair, but also just kind of the emotional tone of everything in a bolder place, I guess.
One of the things I was wondering is what does that mean to you? What is Eternal Sunshine? How do you define it?
Well, it's interesting because people hear it and obviously think that it's so optimistic. That's kind of the point, is the irony of what it means is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is kind of like ignorance is bliss. I'm going to erase all of the bad so I can kind of enter this eternal bliss, eternal sunshine. But it's really sad. It's selectively erasing certain things. So it's kind of, I loved it because it is beautiful and it's eternal sunshine is what, it's what we wish for everyone. We want everyone to experience eternal sunshine, sure. But it's also kind of, the irony of it was my kind of what drew me to it because there's a lot of pain on the album as well. So yeah.
There's everything.
Yeah.
And it's pain cloaked in bops.
Yeah. Yes.
It is.
It's very boppy.
Oh my God.
If we're making it sound like hell, it's not. It's really, it's so fun sounding and feeling, but the emotional context is just whoa, that's all.
It's genuinely my favorite album.
Thank you.
I
Really?
love it.
It
is so special. And maybe it's just where I'm at in my life. And I just feel very understood by the entire thing. And I do feel like my Saturn also returned fairly recently.
Well, yeah, it did.
Yeah, it totally did. And I didn't know what it was until I was educated by you and this body of work.
Well, thanks. I didn't do anything.
But you created a record that taught me what Saturn returning means.
I think it's my favorite as well.
It is really.
I'm sure it is actually. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to describe as you have to really listen to it, but it is so nostalgic yet present and honest and relevant, but very universal. And it's
Thank you.
filled with hits.
Thank you.
And I don't want to talk about any tracks yet because we'll get to it.
We will.
But it's so you, but also
Thanks.
so elevated.
Thank you.
I mean, any creative goals you set before you step in the studio, or did you genuinely not know that you were going to end up there?
I had no idea. I had no, if I had to bet when our next interview would be, it would have been.
I thought Wicked.
Well, for Wicked, yeah, for
that's
sure. But if I had to bet when we would be sitting here talking about an album, I would have said 2027.
And that's the first thing I said when I walked into the studio to hear it, because I was super surprised.
Yeah.
Like, okay, one of my fondest memories. There's so many fond memories. But one of my fondest
We have
memories.
so many.
There's a trillion.
Yeah.
I remember when you came up to me and we're at like the bourbon room and it was Halloween. and
Yes.
You just whispered in the ear. You go, "We're going to London."
Oh my
And
God.
like I will remember for the rest of my life.
And you were like, I don't know what that means.
No, I knew exactly what it meant.
Yeah.
It meant you were gonna fucking be in Wicked.
Yeah.
I'm sweating just thinking about it.
Oh my God.
And in that moment, like,
Ooh, that was the best night of my life. That was the best day of my life.
well, because I don't think people know that it was. It had to have been close to a year of like not knowing, right?
Well, it was like the whole audition process and prepping for the auditions was like 6 months.
Yes.
Like voice lessons every day, acting lessons every day, Nancy Banks, Eric Vitro, the best people in the world, every single day. And while simultaneously shooting The Voice, which was so much fun. And I remember one day before my callback or I don't remember, it was my first audition or my callback or my whatever. There were many rounds. They were so fun. And the waiting period in between, I can't even begin to describe. But I remember one day I came in and I was like, hey, like, I have to sing a lot of opera tomorrow. Is there any world in which we could make it a little less cold in here in the whole studio? I felt so badly because I'm sitting in the red chair and there's 400 other people around me. And I said, just like, maybe we could make it a little bit less cold just because it was like
You gotta warm your
freezing.
voice. Yeah.
It was freezing in there. It was always freezing in the voice. But I never said anything, of course, because it's fun and it's work and who cares? But I had to sing the next day so much opera. And I said, listen, is there any possible world we could just like make it a little bit less Arctic? And they made it so hot.
The opposite.
Everyone was sweating and like Blake was like, why is it so hot in here? I can't breathe. And Kelly was like, yeah, it is so warm in here. And John was like on his phone. And literally like I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. It's completely my fault. Here's what's happening. I have to sing a lot of opera tomorrow. And they were like, oh, what's happening? And I explained it to them and they were so supportive. But yeah, it was just such a funny story.
But this thing took over your life.
Yeah, it really did. In the best ways, yeah.
In that moment, like the conversation was always you become Glinda for a very long period of time. And the idea of music was not really in the cards until after the movies.
I think I needed it to be that way so that I could give my everything of myself to her and to the movies. I think if I had anything else in my head, it wouldn't have been the same. You know what I mean?
100%. Was there a moment throughout the process where you thought you weren't going to get the role?
I had no expectations. I was just thankful to go in at all.
You really were.
I was just so excited to have the opportunity to audition. I have been hunting Mark Platt down for an audition since I was 20. You know what I mean? I've been like, hey, I don't know when this is happening, but when it's happening, may I please at least just audition? And that's all I wanted was an audition. And oh my gosh, yeah, I've never wanted anything more. That was just the best night, that night. We were celebrating.
What do you remember about your first day in Oz?
Rehearsals or on set?
On set, like full on, you
Hair,
walk
makeup,
in and
wardrobe.
you're in a
things.
different universe.
I remember John's speech in the morning and just sobbing, holding his hand and Cynthia's hand, sobbing as he welcomed the crew who became some of the closest people to us for however long. In this tiny little dorm room that we were in. It was actually massive, but in our dorm room, and we held hands and he gave the speech, and I just remember him saying, welcome to Wicked, and just like sobbing, and that was the first day.
The last day? Has shooting ended yet?
Yes, so I wrapped for the movie. Glinda's wrapped for the movie, but I still have to go back to do our like marketing shoot and some other couple little surprises that we're working on. But so I leave in 2 days. But yeah, the last day I had a headache from crying so hard. I couldn't even get my makeup on. I couldn't get anything on. Yeah, so special.
Do you still feel like a part of her is within you? Yeah.
Yes, I think we'll be intertwined forever. Like she'll always be a part of me. Of course, she'll always be here. But also the reacclimating, I think, will take a while too, you know?
Totally.
But it's fun. It's really also fun to have something as grounding as this project with music to help separate and look forward to jumping into something else professionally. I think I'm glad I'm busy. I'm glad I'm busy and have things to look forward to keep me going until we jump back into Wicked promo and Wicked stuff. And yeah, it's going to be fun. It's nice. A full year.
What's been the hardest part about all of this? Even making music again?
The hardest part? Figuring out what I'm going to eat for dinner. I'm kidding. Aretha Franklin said that one time. That was my favorite thing in the world. I'm kidding. Picking what I'm having for lunch. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I feel really, I feel very thankful to be so artistically fulfilled at the moment and personally and just kind of floating along, I guess. I don't know. I can't complain. I wouldn't feel right to, I don't know. I don't have an answer.
I mean,
what do you want me to say?
I think with everything good or great, there's balance, right? Like with darkness, there is light.
Yeah.
With good, there is bad. Like, and when the pendulum swings too far in one direction, it's never there for too long. There's like a balance.
Of course, yeah.
I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I'm just trying to I
feel like you, before the interview, snuck an edible and just began to hit. That's what this feels like to be on the receiving end of, just so you're aware.
The whole time?
That's what, no, just now.
Oh, just that one. Okay,
now.
got it,
I'm like, holy shit, he's going.
No, because I'm thinking to myself, like, life is amazing, but in order to get to amazing, there is darkness, right? Like,
of course, yeah.
Everything is bundled with something. And it's, when I listen to this album, I feel like you're sharing yourself in a way that one, you haven't done in a while, and then two, I feel like you're talking to people who feel like they know you but don't.
Sure. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
There is a sense of misunderstanding.
It's for my fans.
There is a sense of this album where you're talking to people who have come to their own conclusion.
What?
People have crafted their own narratives.
Yeah. The thing is that, like, we know this about the tabloids and about the media and about, like, am I crazy? Don't we know this?
Yeah, but nobody cares for the sake of a good story or for curing one's boredom on the internet.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. It's like we selectively remember that this is what the tabloids do to people, especially women, based on whether or not we like the person. We selectively remember that. We selectively leave space for humanness, for nuance. Like, they don't leave space for that. Well, they do for their friends and their family. It's selective.
Yeah,
but when they turn it off, when that aligns with the version of a person that they have in their head that they want to believe is true. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah.
But I don't say this for them. Again, I'm saying it for my fans, for myself.
Is there anything you wish people knew?
About what?
Any of it? All of it? You? It's a two-handed grip, eh?
Plenty. We don't have enough time, but if you guys want to come to La Masseria one night, please let me know. We can get into all of it. No, I feel like we don't need to go into any specifics, but of course there's like an insatiable frustration, inexplicable, hellish feeling with watching people misunderstand the people you love and you and anything. That of course.
It's It's annoying, but I do feel like this album quiets that.
Oh God, I hope so. I don't think it does.
I really do.
I think it does. I think it's the absolute worst idea. I'm so nervous. Well, because pieces of it touch on things that are real, and then pieces of it are also just like
a part of the concept.
Yeah, part of the concept. So what is that separation? And it's so scary to leave it up to these selective memory people to decipher. It's scary, but I digress. Too late. The vinyls have been printed.
How do you know this album was done?
I felt it. The last song I wrote for the album was the missing color that I wanted to make sure was there. And once that was there, I knew it was done. I think some of my fans will not like how short it is, which I understand and I'm flattered by it because they always just want more, more, more. And I'm thankful for that. But I do feel like it's a concise album, and I don't think it needs more. There's nothing more to say, and it is exactly what I wanted to make. So I'm going to let it be.
I think it's time we go track by track.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'd love that. Oh, fun. Okay.
Let's do it.